Okay. Oh, I feel better just wearing a nice shirt already. Non sequitur. I want to make this video talking about my personal motivation and emotional difficulties in physics. And mostly, I want to do that in an attempt to kind of be more in touch with how I feel and clarify the path ahead of me. Because at times I want to do this physics thing. I really want to give it another try. At times I actually feel too anxious to do it because I am also anxious about other things in my life. I'm anxious about I'm anxious about my career, making enough money. I'm anxious about finding finding the right girl to be in a relationship with and eventually marry. And I'm anxious about being happy. It's a weird thing, but I want to be happy. I'm not sure how it all comes together. Um, and yeah, but in some ways, I think I can be subject to the I guess the bias of being anxious about so many different things that every time I start thing A, I'm anxious about the fact that I'm doing it because I'm not doing thing B, C, and D. But as a result, nothing feels right, you know? Because obviously there's not a linear path to this. Everything is kind of multitasking. You have to deal with all these different things in life at the same time. And, I'm 30 and, my hairline is receding. And I feel like I was better looking in the past. And, that obviously affects the ability of me to, you know, have a girl who I'm interested in be interested in me back. Um, and yeah, I mean, I'm very, very much dealing with a lot of different confusing uncertainties at the moment. Um, and I just want to unravel some of that shit. I'm not gonna hold back any words here. I mean, hopefully there's no 6-year-olds watching this video, which I'm not concerned about because I think this is gonna have one view forever. So whatever. I mean, maybe who knows? But yeah, I don't think that this is very. Anyway, um, yeah, I think I'm just gonna I'm gonna talk about how I feel, and it may not be related to physics, although in the end everything is related because gaining some clarity is gonna give me the motivation to actually make progress on things. I'm stressed. I'm stressed especially about money because we're living in a more and more individualistic society. And to me, that means, look, your ability to provide for yourself is your fault. That's more and more so as there's an increasing inequality in income. although I suppose it's not the inequality in income that matters, it's the percentage of people who are earning an amount that makes it difficult for them to provide for themselves and their family. That's actually really the metric that matters. If everybody's fine, but some people are more fine, it's not a huge issue, but geez, the clouds are beautiful over there. I'm gonna show that a little bit. I just moved into this apartment, like, I think it was this week. It looks like, I don't know if it's visible here, but it looks like there's heaven behind those apartments over there, which is crazy. Anyway, I'm trying to, get a bit more in touch with my emotional self about these kind of things. So, maybe I don't want to pace around too much because I'm gonna give myself a little bit of water. The apartment's a huge mess right now because I just moved in and I didn't have the time to put anything where it's supposed to be. So, apologies, whatever. I've been struggling a little bit with what do I actually want to do. Because I want to like go get it and do my life and whatever. But then when I actually start to do it, I'm like, I don't know if this feels right. Yesterday it felt very right, and I felt very good, and I was happy to continue. Yesterday, I didn't do very technical work though. I was just, what did I do? I had read a little, right. Okay, I answered a question on Stack Exchange about how measurements are actually done in quantum mechanics, or gave a partial answer for it. And I used the reference of the Particle Data Group's booklet, which I want to use for my own stuff. And I was trying to in researching all of these experiments that I want to research, there's kind of like a tree of discovery, because there's not just a linear path that you go along. As you read the first source, it refers you to 5 other sources, and then you have 5 paths that you can go along, and you continue the first one, but you don't want to forget the other 4. So I was kind of documenting all the directions that I could go, which basically were the different sources that I could find in this Particle Data Group booklet. And not only that, but I was reading the booklet, and there's a full review which actually had more information, which I found out. So the day before yesterday, what I did yesterday is to find the full review, which was like 2,000 pages, most of which was irrelevant to me. Luckily, everything is maybe in 100 pages or something like that. Found the full review, and I also, took all the sources that they recommended, at least in chapter 35, which was chapter 35 and 36 are the ones relevant to me. I took all those sources, downloaded them illegally on the internet, and kind of put them all in my folder with the proper naming and stuff like that. So I basically got myself ready to begin this work. And I felt great that day. I wanted to keep working, but whatever. Okay, today I go in and I'm like, okay, time to start with this review of the Particle Data Group book itself, time to start with the Particle Data Group review itself, because that is the main source, and it's going to be the most useful to me. There's a ladybug in here, even though I haven't opened the window, so I feel like it's just been here for days. Okay, whatever. I wanted to review that Particle Data Group stuff, but Yeah, I wasn't even convinced that it was the right step to take. I was like, it felt very indirect. I was like, what I want to do is I want to respond to Sabine because on Facebook she said, you know, we were having a conversation as a result of one of the papers that she was publishing, and she said, basically, if you think that Bohmian mechanics is different from regular quantum mechanics, write it up in a paper, and that would be the proper way to do it. And I guess either she or maybe one of the people that she works with would look at it. Maybe. I'm not convinced. But I think she has a faintly good impression of me without really knowing me that well. So maybe there's a chance, but wouldn't bet on it. Anyway. I really want to respond to her, and I want to write that thing up, and I want to send it to her. And that's one of the main motivating things for me right now. And so I was doing this particle data group thing, and I was just like, fuck this, man. Like, ugh. It was too indirect. Like, I wasn't directly motivated by it. But it is kind of one of the logical steps for me to do right now. But I kind of wanted to continue the conversation, I think, with Sabine instead. But then again, everything is predicated on this review. Because, well, is it? That's the question, actually. Is it? I kind of want to tell myself that it is, but look, if it is, it is, and as it is, it isn't. What is it that I would be sending Sabine? The thing is, I really want to be informed before I talk to Sabine, so I kind of want to tick off those boxes about understanding Bohmian mechanics. At least the measurement problem part. I think that's the most relevant to what she was talking about. Although I can go there with a partial understanding, and it can be fine. I can just say, look, this is what I've understood. This I would like to ask more questions about. That's fine. But okay, so one of my motivations is to talk to Sabine. In the end, somehow everything goes back to people, which, look, if that's how it is, that's fine. But I want to talk to Sabine about that and tell her basically how momentum measurement works in Bohmian mechanics. And I think actually one of the best ways to do that would be take my own notes about it, and yeah. I think it would be very useful in talking about momentum measurement in Bohmian mechanics to have reviewed at least a large number of momentum experiments, because this whole thing is based on actual experiments. So to some extent, I want to really become an expert at this so that I can provide useful information to her, and also based, on for my own to publish. I mean, it's a milestone for me. To some extent, I think that publishing is fucked up and I don't like it and all that stuff, but it's also a milestone. But I don't want to cater. I want to be I really don't. I would just want to be pure and explain things the way that I think they are clear. And if people think that they're fucked up and, I'm too unbelievable because I'm making claims that seem like they're too out there, then I want to have it on record that I said the truth as I see it and as I believe it. And, may I be wrong about something? Fine. But let me at least have, shared my honest best understanding of how things are. Yeah. So I do think that this thing would be useful. I think it's just a little bit of a bitch to go through. And I wasn't convinced that I had to do it. I was like, maybe I should formulate a response to Sabine first. This is obviously a somewhat one-way conversation. I think she probably completely forgot about the fact that I even responded to her, and that she had said that I should write something. But nonetheless, it was very motivating of me to see that. I've just had a million other things going on since then. But I haven't forgotten. Very much I haven't. So, what comes now? I really like this shirt. Oh my gosh. This is how I want it to be though. I want to just be as stupid and ridiculous as I am, and as confused as I really am, and as whatever, you know, I don't want to pretend that I'm some highfalutin bullshit. Look, this is me. Okay, so yeah. I think it's just a slog, and I just have to get through it somewhat. And even if I only document 2 experiments today, I think I'll have established a good start. And I don't think that this review is going to take endlessly long, but I've only started it today, and I believe it's Tuesday today. Yes, it's Tuesday. And I won't be able to work on it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday because I have to work for money on those days. Although I might be able to fit in a bit of other time there. So we'll see. All right, so what have I really found out? I mean, I want to do this thing with Sabina, but I think it would be good to at least review the experiments in the particle data group booklet, which it's a fair amount of work. It may take a few days, but it's not insane. And a few days, if it only takes a few days, that's very much worth it. Do I continue beyond that? I don't know, but I think even to have said that, look, there are 25 experiments noted in the particle data group, and I've looked through every single one of them, and they all fit this thing, you know, if it is the case. I am actually investigating here. That is a very strong statement to be able to make. It wouldn't be bad to also go through the textbooks after that, but to have gone through all the PDG stuff, I think that's a very strong step. So I think that this is just one of the kind of sloggy things that I have to get through. And maybe, you know, I can distract myself a little bit by answering stuff on Stack Exchange, maybe calling up Sidont for no reason. And yeah, and maybe I will just do a little bit every day on it, even on my work days, because first of all, I don't have much work to do at the moment. There's no pressing deadline. I'm mostly waiting on other people. And second of all, it'll be nice to keep the thread, you know. All right, I think that pretty much settles it. I mean, yes, I've understood now that my main motivations are through people, and some weird part of me thinks that that's weak. I don't know why. Like, I want to just be able to get the thing done regardless of whether it's, and I don't want it to be dependent on people and whatever, but actually they, you know, they do inspire me. People do inspire me. And that's how I am, I suppose. Or at least that's how I am right now. Because I feel a motivation when I talk to people about these things. So, and I've noticed that in my work for money as well. So, yeah. All right, I think I'm gonna publish, maybe I'll just publish both of these videos actually as a pair. Glad that I'm wearing a different t-shirt to kind of differentiate between them. I don't know why. And this is nice. It's my gradual quest to do well in physics. All right. Peace.